Hi, my name is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I'm happy you found me, and if you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. Today, I have I think I'll call this transforming negative beliefs into empowering truths. And the reason why is because I know that there are a lot of us, and even myself at times, that go through negative thoughts, negative beliefs, and even negative dialogues. The key is to learn how to change that negative thinking into a positive format. And to me, it's surprisingly how easy that we can all get caught up in that storm of negative thinking. And that kind of thinking pretty much can shape the way we see ourselves, others, or even life itself. Often we don't even recognize it's happening because it becomes so automatic, and guess what? It becomes familiar, and it feels like it's the truth. But let's pause and examine the inner dialogue that we have. I want to ask you, have you ever said anything, or think about your own negative thoughts that you have? Something like, if people really knew me, they probably wouldn't like me, or I'm a failure, I'm always fail, or I never succeed, or I'm just not good enough, or you just can't trust people. They always disappoint you. I mean, depending on who you're around, sometimes that might be true, but for the sake of my talk, these beliefs can operate like looking through a dirty window. The world becomes dim, unclear, and even distorted. But if you were to clean the window just a little bit, it might be able to slightly bring a little light. And as things become clearer, the more you clean and wipe off that glass, the sharper it becomes. And then you might be able to see a little more truth. And negative beliefs, I want you to know, they're not truths. They're not facts. They're simply thoughts that we've been repeating to ourselves quite often, and it sounds real. It becomes real. It becomes our reality. What if you can begin to challenge those thoughts and replace them with beliefs that are grounded in truth, evidence, and perhaps possibility? Let's walk through a simple and powerful process to help you break the cycle and see yourself and your world a little brighter and more balanced in that light, right? So what is the first thing we want to do? We want to start by identifying one specific belief that doesn't serve us, right? So whatever that is for you, I want you to get your pen and paper or if you're not able to do that right now, that's fine. Make sure you come back and listen to this and just do the work. It might be about yourself, or let's just say it could be about a particular situation or even another person. Let me give you an example. I don't belong anywhere. People always think I'm annoying, or I'm not smart enough to succeed. Whatever your dialogue is telling you, I want you to take the time to write it down and even say it out loud. I want you to also pay close attention to the emotional impact it has, because this is key. This is big. This is huge. I want you to be able to name those feelings that it brings. So how does that belief make you feel? For instance, do it make you feel anxious, hopeless, disconnected? I want you to name it, and then I want you to write it down, bring awareness and distance between you and that belief. For an example, this belief makes me feel rejected or alone. So if it does, also question that. Why do I feel that way? Because you want to start understanding, and this is just a part of being a self-aware and becoming more aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and even your actions. Right? I want you to learn how to create a healthier balance of belief, right? So consider a more grounded, empowering belief for yourself, something that is still, something that might be honest, but not destructive. Example, instead of I don't belong anywhere, you might say to yourself, I haven't found my people yet, but I know I'm worthy of connection and community. You can start by writing that down because it shows that there's progress. I know for a fact that I haven't found my people yet. I haven't made that connection with others that I relate with or relate to or who relates to me, my community, my people. The key is balance, not blind positivity, but truth wrapped in compassion. Compassion for others, and guess what? Compassion for yourself. So you just can't, and I just mentioned you can't blindly do this, right? So you're going to have to learn how to gather evidence for yourself that supports your new belief. And you might want to find, like, for instance, anytime somebody does anything or show you a kind act, or don't think that it's insignificant. No win is too small. I want you to be able to write them down. If a coworker asks you to grab coffee with them, a friend texts you to see how you were doing, or someone thank you for advice for one day that you gave them advice. These are little stepping stones. They're little pebbles in the pond that you probably think are insignificant, but those are the stepping stones to show you the positive examples that you have real evidence that supports your belief. All right, so I want you to also do this. How does that make you feel when you find that somebody has done something positive to you, for you, or even thought about you in a positive way? I want you to start writing that down too. And you also have to learn how to repeat these new beliefs, because guess what? When we have positive beliefs, they don't come as often as the negative ones do, right? I mean, negativity seems to just pop up in an instant, but you got to work hard to be positive, right? So you have to repeat your new beliefs a few times. Every time you sit down, every time you notice that you are going off in thought, start going off in thought and taking an opportunity to say to yourself, I am worthy of connection, or whatever your deal is. Or if you can't seem to get something right, I just haven't figured it out as of yet, but I will. I'm working on this. Notice how you feel. I want you to experience the relief, the calm, the hope even that you have when you change that in a dialogue. You change it from negative to positive. I guarantee you there is always something that you can find positive about yourself. But you got to bring it to the forefront. You can't let the negativity stay there in the present. You have to balance them. You're probably going to always have negative thoughts at one point in time or another. But the key is to not wallow in them. If there's some truth in there, okay. Now take that truth and make it positive by turning it into a different outcome, by turning it into a positive statement. You know, like the one, I haven't found my people yet. That's positive. But you know it will, because I haven't found them yet. There's hope. I know I will. So whatever your deal is, find a positive to it. All right. So that is pretty much what I'm going to talk about today. I thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe to this podcast, and also like this podcast. Real quick before I give you my final thought, every morning I look in the mirror and I say positive things to myself. I'm growing every day. I'm learning more and more every day. I am more compassionate to myself. I say so many different things, but the first thing I do is I wake up in gratitude. I thank God for a new day. I thank God for allowing me to live another day. And then at the end of that day, I thank God for bringing me through the day. I think right now, my being showing gratitude not only to God but to myself, it puts me in a different state than what I used to be in about maybe 2 years ago. So is it easy? Not at first, no. But is it worth it? Absolutely. And it takes work. It takes changing your mindset. And that pretty much will do it for today. That's all I got for you. Your thoughts are your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. I want you to know that. And you have the power to shape whatever you believe. So changing your belief isn't about pretending and everything is perfect. No, it's about learning to see things as they truly are, clearer, kinder, more compassionate toward yourself, and more aligned with your potential. So be blessed and have a wonderful day. Thank you. So long.